Let me starting off our item tier list. We're going to go through every single item in the game. I'm going to be ranking them from best to worst. And we obviously got the different categories as well. Physical, magical, defense, boots, and boots enchants. We'll go through each and every single one. I don't know how long this video is going to last. I will leave timestamps in the description for each section of the video. I'm doing a live stream at the same time. You can see chat down there. I can't point in the right direction, but yeah, chat's down there. We're going to go through all the items. I'm going to be giving you my opinions of the items because it's a new feature on the website. So I was like, why not? I'll do this as a sort of cool video. So what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to do it in order from the game itself. So I'm going to go from the game order, which you can see up here. I won't show this, but you see in the top right, you know, Nash's Tooth, Guardian Angel, etc., etc. Instead of the order that it has on the website, just to make sure that all the items are there. How do you rank the items that are insane on few champions, but useless on other champions like Cosmic Drive on Vladimir? I don't even think you go Cosmic Drive on Vladimir anymore, to be fair. All right, first item, Nash's Tooth. Also, I'll probably just do completed items. I don't think you need Cosmic Drive anymore on Vladimir. I just think you just go for all the OP AP items. Nash's Tooth, interesting item. China loves Nash's Tooth on AD carries. I've been seeing like Nash's Tooth on Caitlyn a lot over in China. In terms of champions that really build this item, it's only really Gwen, to be fair. She's kind of the only champion that really benefits from Nash's Tooth. There's Kayle as well, but obviously Kayle is not very good at the moment in the current meta. I think Nash's Tooth is solid B tier. I don't think it's as low as C tier. I might have to move items around once I get to other items. I think Nash's Tooth is a solid B tier. It could move down to C tier as well. It's not too great. Yes, Leah. Hello, hello. Gwen and Kayle. Yeah, basically. On-hit Varus. Honestly, I think on-hit Varus doesn't even go Nash's Tooth. I think you just go other items instead, basically. It's either C or B tier. I think we'll put it in B tier for now, and then it might switch up to another tier. Maybe it might move down a tier, actually. Might move down. Yeah, I think if you really stretch it, you can probably build on other items. Honestly, it might even be C. It might even be C. It might even be C, to be honest with you. Guardian Angel. Oh, wait, where did the item go? Oh, is it when I search it? Oh, okay. So when I search for an item, it removes it from here. Okay, I might have to just like scroll through and find it. Okay, it's going to get rid of it. Okay, I have to scroll through and just find the item then. That's fine. I can deal with that. Guardian Angel. Where's G? There we go. Guardian Angel is an interesting one because I think the item, I think resurrecting is really good with Guardian Angel, and I think Guardian Angel can be pretty good in general. The problem is that they've just nerfed the stats so much that you're only really buying the item for the resurrect, and that's it. Like, the item stats itself are just not that great, but I think for the resurrect itself, it's probably better than Nash's Tooth. And this is why I put Nash's Tooth down in C tier, because I was like, Guardian Angel's next, and Guardian Angel's probably B tier. I'd say Guardian Angel's probably B tier, and Nash's Tooth is C tier. I don't think you get that much benefit from Nash's Tooth. Guardian Angel, you have the Resurrect, which I think is, you know, pretty beneficial. I think you can build this on like assassins or AD carries or anyone, really. It can be pretty good. Could be pretty good. Hey, what's up, Skyhook? Hello, hello. Yeah, I still think Guardian Angel is a good situational defensive item that you can build. I don't think it's like A tier. Like, I don't think it's a strong item at all. I think it's like mid B. Mid B, I would say. I would say B is a pretty good spot for Guardian Angel. C tier for Nash's Tooth, I think, makes sense as well. Next item, Bloodthirster. I mean, no surprise where this item's going to go. Straight into S tier. I mean, this item is really, really powerful. You get... when they changed Bloodthirster to it actually getting more AD and more attack speed when you're above 50% health, like that made this item so insane. Like, this item is extremely powerful. I mean, it gets built on pretty much every single crit ADC that you can think of, to be fair. Every single crit ADC that you can think of, even other crit champions you can do, like Graves in the jungle, Neela in the jungle, they just all go Bloodthirster, because physical vamp is also super important. AD is really nice, the crit's really nice, and this item is just insane as hell. Yeah, every ADC rushes Bloodthirster. Such an insane item. Next item, Runan's Hurricane. Now, this is kind of a question between what's better, Nash's Tooth or Runan's Hurricane. And I would say most of the time it's probably Runan's Hurricane. So it makes me feel like Runan's Hurricane should be in B tier, but it also could be a case of them just both being in the same tier as well. Runan's Hurricane's an interesting one. I'm not too sure if it's B tier worthy. I mean, it's really, really good for on-hit champions. Like, really, really good. You're seeing Runan's Hurricane being built on, like, Twitch on hit. You can even go on, like, Varus, Ashe as well. I think I would much rather build Runan's Hurricane over Nash's Tooth. I mean, Nash's Tooth is a pretty good early game item, but it kind of, yeah, it's kind of falls off a little bit later on in the game. Runan's Hurricane still is quite beneficial in later on in the game. So I think solid B tier. I would say Runan's Hurricane is solid B tier. I might move it down depending on other items, but I would say pretty good. Yeah, Kalista as well, Zeri. Yeah, there's a lot of on-hit champions that benefit well from Runan's Hurricane more than Nash's Tooth. Especially because of the spread damage, right? The spread damage is just really, really nice. So I would say probably better than Nash's Tooth, I would say. Guardian Angel is kind of, yeah. I mean, Guardian Angel might move down, I'm not too sure. We'll see. Dustblade. Oh boy. Well, we know where Dustblade's going. Straight up into S tier. I mean, item is just insane. You can even build it on some AD carries if you want to. I don't think Lucia with Dustblade is the best first item anymore. You probably can go for it if you really want to. Every single AD assassin builds this item. It's so powerful. Since they got rid of the whole unseen passive, and now you just get more damage on your next auto attack on a champion. I mean, it's just insane. Like, great stats, great item, really, really powerful. Nash Chaos with AD and AP, Runan's is fixed to 15 physical. Yes, but the spread damage is better. But, I mean, Nash's Tooth only scales with the on-hit damage. You still get the same sort of AD or AP, basically. Like, this just scales with the on-hit damage, which is not really that much. I still say Runan's is better. But yeah, I mean, Dustblade, I mean, no surprise, this item is just really, really strong. I don't think there's anything, I don't think there's much else to say about Dustblade. More to reminder, I mean, pretty much built on every single AD carry. It's always built as, I mean, it's the only, it's the only anti-heal item that you can buy. It gets built on pretty much every single AD carry because you kind of have to build it. It's the only real good armor pen item as well. There's even assassins that build Mortal Reminder because they don't want to go for Chempunk Chainsword. Yeah, again, kind of no surprise that Mortal Reminder is S tier. I mean, this item just gets built on every single champion. Just is I mean, stats wise, it's probably not like the best stats wise, but just for what the item gives, like the Grievous Wounds, you know, AD crit, armor penetration, and Grievous Wounds all in one item. Like, even though the stats are maybe not that great in general, but having all four of them stats in one item is just way too good. Way too good. Way too good. Yeah, next item, Manamune. I mean, Manamune started to get build on like Hecarim and Kayn, and honestly, this item's not really that good. I think Manamune is just too slow for this game. I think Wild Rift is just such a super fast-paced game that Manamune just takes way too long to scale and way too long to come online. I mean, you could still build it on like Ezreal. I mean, Ezreal, you have to build it anyway, just because how the champion works. You just don't have a choice. Kai'Sa AP, you can build it if you want to. I mean, you don't have to. You could probably just build Dustblade instead, and you can just go Dustblade into something else. Yeah, honestly, item is just not very good at all. Just honestly, just the scaling is just, it just takes too long. I think the scaling is just too long. For you to get stacks, like for the, you become so much weaker as your first item, and the spike from Manamune up to Muramana is not, like, it's an okay spike. Like, it's not bad, but by the time that other champions have crit items or they've built a crit item, they've got ahead of you and you're just falling behind already in the early game, in my opinion. So yeah, Manamune, not too great. I mean, I might move Nash's Tooth up. Maybe Nash's Tooth deserves to be B as well. I mean, maybe it's like this. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to move this around a lot, to be fair. I'm probably gonna have to move this around a lot. Black Cleaver. I think A is probably okay for Black Cleaver. I think the item is still pretty decent. I think the passive is really good. You can reduce the armor of enemy champions. I don't think it's like S tier where it's like one of the best items in the game. I don't think it's that case, but I think it's a really good item. I don't think it deserves to be B tier with like Guardian Angel, Runans, and Nash's Tooth. I think A tier is solid. Like it's a strong item. You know, it's not great. It's not like the best item. It's not the worst item. It's a decent item. You know, you can build it on a lot of bruisers. You can build it even on AD carries if you really want to, like Samira, for example. Yeah. I think that's kind of all you have to say about Black Cleaver. There's not much to say about Black Cleaver. I mean, it's just a strong item. Some champions is core, some champions is not core. That's pretty much it. Trinity Force. Man, this item tier list is going to be hard, isn't it? This item tier list is going to be hard. Again, I don't think it's an item that's like a must. I don't think it's insanely broken. I think Trinity Force and Divine Sundra kind of sit in the same tier where they're both very similar items because of the Sheen passive, but they both offer different things. Where like Trinity Force is more of an aggressive carry item. Divine Sundra is more to do with playing versus tanks and doing a lot more damage to tanks and also a bit of sustainability. I don't think the item is crazy strong. But thinking about it, you can build this on like some AD carries as well. Like Vayne builds Trinity Force. Varus builds Trinity Force. Ash builds Trinity Force. I would say solid A for now. I don't think there's going to be... I mean, it doesn't sit on the same tier as like Bloodthirster, Dustblade, and Mortal Reminder, in my opinion. I don't think so. Draven as well, yeah, but I don't think it sits in the same tier as like Bloodthirster, Dustblade, Mortal Reminder, in my opinion. More of my Mortius. It's solid. It's okay. It's a situational item. You don't have to build it every single game. Solid B tier. I mean, yeah, it's okay. I don't think I mean, it's not the same tier as like Black Cleaver Trinity Force where you kind of build it pretty much every single game. Yeah, it's solid. It's okay. It's not great. This also makes me feel like I have more of my Mortius the same tier as like Nash's Tooth from Runans, which I guess these can also be kind of situational. I mean, for your situational items, you normally have like Guardian Angel, more of my Mortius, right? So yeah, I think that's kind of where I stand with more and more Mortius. Every hyper carry in jungle builds Trinity Force? Not really. I wouldn't say so. I mean, every single jungler just builds Dustblade. Every jungler at the moment just builds Dustblades, pretty much, and Ghostblades, which I'll get to that item a bit later on. Not every jungler builds Trinity Force in the moment, but yeah, every like AD assassin just goes Dustblades, basically. Oh god, Magnetic Blaster. I think it's okay. I think like having both the Static Shiv and the Rapid Fire Cannon passive is okay. Magnetic Blaster is definitely not S tier. Definitely not S tier. I think it's okay. I just think it's not needed. I think it's okay if you want like the extra range and the Static Shift proc, but it's not really needed most of the time. Like if you think of champions that want to build Magnetic Blaster, Caitlyn wants to build Magnetic Blaster like sometimes, but that's only because you have the Storm Razor passive, which Storm Razor plus Magnetic Blaster passive adds on top of each other. And that's about it. I mean, not if a champion wants to build Blaster. I mean, even Xayah now, you don't want to build Blaster because you have all the OP AD items, like Rune Infinity Edges back, for example, which makes that item even stronger. Or even other champions that built Blaster before. There's like no one. I mean, Lucian, I don't even think it's really good on Lucian as well, to be fair. I would say B, personally. I would say pretty high B. or low A. I think for now I'll put it in B. I don't think the item is, I don't think it's great. Fine, it's a B. I mean, you tried Spectre. I respect the effort of trying to make the item S tier, but no, I don't think the item is, I think it's okay. I mean, it can, like, it's a pretty decent item. I think the problem is it just doesn't give any attack damage. Imagine if this item gave attack damage as well, then it would be really, really good, but it only gives attack speed and crit. So it's like, yeah, I mean, Tristana can also build it, right? But then also Tristana at the same time can go like PD instead or something, or even just like, I don't know, you go Navori. Yeah, I don't know, man. Tier lists are hard. Item tier lists are hard. There's gonna be so many items later on that I'm gonna be this, like, I don't know, it's hard. Yeah, I mean, it's cool that it combined Shiv and Rapid Fire Cannon into one item, but I don't think it's, yeah. Death Stance. I mean, it's okay. I think Death Stance is okay. I think it's actually pretty good. You build it on pretty much every single AD bruiser if you're against an AD comp. It's kind of the go-to defensive AD item, I would say, on every single AD bruiser. If you think about it, like every single AD bruiser, like Camille, Jax, Fiora, every single AD bruiser goes Death Stance. Urgot, like all these champions goes Death Stance. The passive is really good. You're probably going to be against AD damage anyway, so it's going to be okay. So you need a carousel to roll which tier item goes in. It's like TFT, isn't it? TFT item tier list. Extra heal on takedown is also really good. Yeah, I mean, it helps against burst damage because you get dealt damage over time, which, yes, it's true damage, but that's okay. Then when you get a takedown, you get healing. I think it's a solid A. I think this item just gets built a lot on loads of different champions, and I think it's a pretty good item overall. I think it's pretty good. Hello, Under. Hello. We're doing our item tier lists, and then we're going to game and play some Kalista later, because Kalista got hotfix buffed. So we're going to be gaming with Kalista. But we're doing item tier lists. Hog. I'd say A. Yeah, I'd say A for Death Stance. Okay, now this is where things get hard, because I have Phantom Dancer next. And I think the Phantom Dancer is better than Magnetic Blaster. But now I don't think Phantom Dancer is A tier. So is it just like they're both in the same tier, but like Phantom Dancer is just better than Magnetic Blaster? Man, this is where item tier list gets hard. Because I don't think Phantom Dancer is A tier. I think it's definitely better than Magnetic Blaster, but I never do these in order. Like, I'm not really too bothered about the order of these. I think Phantom Dancer sits B tier as well. I think it's solid. The extra attack speed and the movement speed you get from the passive is really, really good. It gives you attack damage now, which is quite nice. Gives you crit, gives you attack speed. Stats are okay. The item's pretty good. Yeah. Just put them all in the same tier. Wasn't Kalista ass? Yeah, I mean, she was ass until they hotfix buffed her. They put in a hotfix in the game. What happened to Phantom Dancer? I generally forgot the item exists. I mean, it's true. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people did build Blaster instead of Phantom Dancer. I think just because the extra range and, as you said, the static shiv passive at the same time. I think overall you get a lot more benefit from Phantom Dancer because it basically gives you free attack speed steroids, right? So I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's B. I don't think it's A. I think it's better than Blaster. I mean, Blaster is probably better in some scenarios that you want extra range, but yeah, it's B. Wit's End, again, situational item. Really good for on-hit champions. Really good against AP damage. Yeah, solid B. I mean, again, another item that sits B. I think a lot of items are going to sit B. I think there's going to be very rare scenarios that items are going to drop down to C or even D tier. Because B tier is like the okay tier, you know? Like, it's like the middle tier, you know? A is like the good tier and S is like the really good tier. I probably need to change the description of this. Because this is like the okay tier. I probably need to change the description of this. Because this is like middle, good, best. Best, good, middle, bad, worst. That's probably how it goes. So it's like good. Have a lot of items in B tier is actually good, but it's like the too nice for a niche. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Too good for a niche, yeah. Again, like Wit's End, situational, really good for on-hit champions, really good for attack speed champions, really good against AP champions as well. It's a good situational item. You could build like this or more of Mortius. I think both of these are pretty decent. Cool item. Essence Reaver. God, I honestly might put Essence Reaver C tier. I might put Essence Reaver C tier. No crit champions really build Essence Reaver. Lucian doesn't build Essence Reaver anymore. The only champion that I think the only champion in the game that builds Essence Reaver is Varus, and that's only if you want to go for the lethality Varus builds, which even then people building on hit more than lethality Varus now. Like, no one else builds this item at all. Israel doesn't go Essence Reaver? No, Essence Reaver is different in Wild Rift. Essence Reaver doesn't have the Sheen passive. I build Manamune over Essence Reaver? Yeah, there's also that as well. Like, I think the passive is okay. Like, you can deal more crit damage. I mean, you could deal more... Sorry, you could deal more damage with your abilities the more crit chance you build. But who wants that? There's not... Xayah doesn't build Essence Reaver. Lucian doesn't build Essence Reaver. And they're probably the two other champions that should build Essence Reaver, really, if you think about it. Varus, you can build Essence Reaver, and it's okay. I mean, Essence Reaver Caitlyn never gets built. Nah, I think it's C tier. I honestly think it's C tier. I think it's one of the worst crit items, in my opinion. I honestly think it's one of the worst crit items. That might be a hot take. That might be a really bad take. Yeah, Corki's the other one. Yeah, Corki's the other one. I mean, even Corki at the moment is not very good as a champion. I think for that sole reason. Yeah, I think it's okay. Wait, why are the only two AD mana items in C tier? Yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. It's... Yeah. I mean, honestly, Manamune might go down to D tier at this rate. Thinking about... Actually, no. I mean, no. No, I can't put any items on D tier. No, that means that they are unplayable completely, but they're not unplayable completely. Stormrazor. No, I think Stormrazor has potential because they did buff it. It does more damage now. It has more slow. It has potential. But again, I think it's a situational crit item. I don't think it's like a core crit item that you should be building every single game. Like, core crit items are Bloodthirster, Mortal Reminder, and Ruin Infinity Edge. They are like the three core crit items at the moment. Stormrazor is probably below that, I would say, with like... I mean, it's probably better than PD. I don't think of other crit items that I haven't done yet. Navori. I mean, yeah, Stormrazor is probably better than Navori Quick Blades. Is it better than Shield Bow? No, probably not. I would probably prefer Shield Bow, to be honest, over Navori, over Stormrazor and Navori. So it might just be high B. Stormrazor just might be high B. I don't think it's A. I mean, it is a decently strong item. It might just be B, to be fair. Stinger's in the game? Yeah, Stinger gets built into... What does Sting get built into again? Trinity Force and Nash's Tooth, I think. S or A? No, I don't think Stormrazor is S or A. I really don't think this item is like that good. Again, you think of crit AD carries, right? They want to build Bloodthirster. They want to build Mortal Reminder. That's 50% crit. They want to build Ruin Infinity Edge. That's 75% crit. And what's your fourth crit item? It just depends what your fourth crit item is. And also, I think most of the time you just want to build Stormrazor with Magnetic Blaster because it has the synergy with the passive where you get like the extra damage. So like Stormrazor plus Blaster, like as a combo of items, is pretty decent because you get the added on damage from these from the energized passive, right? So Yeah, I mean, maybe Storm Razor can move up. Honestly, I'll put it B now. It might move up. It might move down. I don't think it'll move down. Serratus Grudge. No one really built this item, to be fair. I mean, Assassins still build this item. AD carries don't really build this item. I mean, except if you're playing like Ezreal or something. I think most champions actually build Mortal Reminder as their crit item. I think the item is still good though. I mean, percent armor pen, slow passive is also pretty nice. Yeah, I play on the EU server. I play on the EU server, EU West. Well, actually, no, it's not EU West, is it? That's PC League, just EU. Grudge is probably B as well. There's gonna be so many items in B tier. So many items in B tier, actually. Yeah, I mean, I'll put a B tier. I mean, I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I'm definitely gonna have to separate some of these items. I don't know how, but I need to separate some of these items and put some lower and put some higher. I don't know how I'm gonna separate these items though, because I honestly think that they're all like good items, but they're not like Bloodthirster, Dustblade, Mortal Reminder tier, or even Black Cleaver, Trinity Force, Death Dance tier. They're like goods, but they're not great. Literally only a few items that will be in A. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good thing, right? That most of them are in B tier. I guess that's a good thing. Solari Charge Blade, again, probably B tier. I mean, it's okay on, I mean, it's pretty good on some champions like Lucian. Champions that want to use a lot of abilities. Lucian, Zeri starts to build Solari Charge Blade now. That's it. I guess. I mean, you don't build it on Xayah because you don't really need it, because you want the attack damage. Well, I definitely think the item is pretty good for champions that use abilities a lot, but then at the same time, it's like, that's about it. What item are we talking about? Solari Charge Blade next. Solari Charge Blade is the next one. I would probably say B as well. I would probably say B tier as well for Solari. I don't think there's too many champions that use the item, but when champions do use this item, it's really, really good. Because allowing a champion to deal magic damage as well as AD damage, and also that magic damage can crit, I think is pretty good. B tier. Novori Quick Blades. Honestly, again, one of the worst crit items with Essence Reaver, I would say. I would say it's one of the worst crit items with Essence Reaver. There are not really a lot of champions that I can think of that want to build Novori Quick Blades. Yeah, I feel like I need to split B tier into two, but at the same time, it's like kind of, yeah. I mean, who actually builds Novori Quick Blades in this meta? What is the Severe build now? Bloodthirster, IE, Mortal Reminder, then probably Novori, fourth item. Yasuo, Yone, Lucian. Lucian doesn't really build it anymore because you go Solari, BT, IE, Mortal Reminder most of the time. Oh yeah, I guess you got Xayah as well. Yeah, true. I mean, I guess it's B, right? I mean, all the items are just going in B tier at this rate. I mean, I definitely think Essence Reaver is C tier. I don't think Essence Reaver is B tier because this item is just not very good. Edge of Night. Edge of Night. I think Edge of Night is actually pretty good. If you think of assassins, every single assassin builds Edge of Night. Navori C tier, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I think Navori deserves to be in C tier as well. We'll talk about it afterwards. But I think Navori maybe could be C tier, but I don't know. Edge of Night is A. Yeah, I would probably say Edge of Night is A tier. I was thinking about it, and I was just like briefly thinking about it, and I was like, it's probably B tier. But then thinking about it is like every single AD assassin builds Edge of Night. every single like the annul passive, the shield passive is really good for AD champs, AD assassins. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's pretty core on most champions, like most AD assassins. I would say it is pretty decent. Spell shield is so powerful. Yeah, I think spell shield is really powerful. I'd say decent. Divine Sunderer, I already mentioned already, but again, A tier. It's very similar to Trinity Force. It's kind of like a question of what type of Sheen item do you want, but Divine Sunderer is still really good. Divine Sunderer and Trinity Force are both really, really good. It's just a situation of what one you want to go for, right? So it kind of depends on, do you want more, are you against tanks? Then you probably want to go for Divine Sunderer. If you want sustain, if you want more burst damage, you can go for Trinity Force instead. Serpent's Fang, very, very situational item. Probably B tier. I mean, I think it's pretty good. Like, you can still build it on armor pen champions. Even if you're not against champions that have shielding, the item is still pretty okay, to be honest with you, and I think the item is still pretty good. Just a cheap item, gives you early armor pen. I mean, it's not better than Ghostblade, of course, but it's decent. Like, it's really good against shielding, right? It's like, against shielding, it's probably A, even S tier. I mean, against shielding is S tier for sure. But like, as a general item, it's still okay. Still pretty decent. Shield bow, again, probably B. I mean, I was thinking of moving shield bow up, but then at the same time, it's like, what champions really build shield bow as well? I would say shield bow is one of the best situational crit items because of the passive you get with the shielding, and especially because you don't build shield bow until your third or even fourth crit item. You don't build it as a first item anymore. You only build it as like third or fourth crit item if you don't have any other options. Actually, saying that, you probably prefer to build something like Solari instead, or I mean, no, I think shield bow's okay there. I think shield bow is okay there. I think it's okay. I think some beta items should move down that are like super niche, like Serpent's Fang would say more of my Mortius Novori, etc. Yeah, it's hard. This item tier list is a lot more difficult than what I thought. I thought this would be kind of simple. Be like, yep, cool, you go in S, you go in A. And I'm like, this B tier is stacked full of items that I definitely need to separate. Oh, God. I saw you take a pill. Arjun, I have no idea what you're talking about. But no, I don't take anything. Arjun, I have no idea what you're talking about. Will you split it into roles? No, I mean, roles won't work. It only works in like physical, magic damage, defense, boots, and enchant. It'll be too complicated like that. Ha! Collector! Oh, God. So I mean, the item's okay. Like, collector's okay. I mean, it's not great. Like, the item stat's not great. And it's... I mean, if I stick to what I always say about collector, it's C tier. If I stick to what I always say about collector, which it probably is C tier, to be honest with you, let's be honest. I mean, China are just cooking some crazy shit with collector. This item is like not great. I think it's good on some champions. It's good on champions that don't auto attack a lot and want to get takedowns quite quick. So like Jin, for example, Jin with collector is really good because he only has 4 auto attacks. He's not auto attacking that much. Samira, it's pretty decent because you want to get takedowns to get the assists, and also Samira works more on abilities than auto attacks, which collector is pretty good on. And the same with Neela as well. Neela, it could also work okay. Other than that, any standard AD carry will not build collector. Any standard AD carry will definitely not build collector. It would be a dream for Gangplank. It would probably be a dream, yeah. It would probably be a dream, yeah. But yeah, collector C tier. I don't think it's that great. Chempunk Chainsword honestly might be C tier as well. I think the stats for this item probably need to get buffed because whenever anyone builds an anti-heal item or an item that has grievous wounds, No one builds Chempunk Chainsword. Even bruisers in the Baron lane still build Mortar Reminder over Chempunk Chainsword. Like, no one actually really builds this item at all. Like, this item is just... Yeah, I think Chempunk Chainsword might be C as well. I really don't see a lot of champions building this item. I think a lot of people will just go more like Mortar Reminder instead of Chempunk Chainsword. Yeah, I mean, it's not that good. I mean, honestly, I might have to use the D tier at this point. I don't know when I'm going to use the D tier. I'm going to have to use the D tier at some point. I don't know what items are going to move down there. We'll talk about that a bit later. Spirit Shojin. Honestly, the item's okay. It's not bad. It's okay. Hey, what's up, Zin? Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. We're currently doing the item tier list. Spirit Shojin's okay. It's... Honestly, it's probably B. I think the item's still pretty decent. Thank you, Zin. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the raid. Hope you had a great stream. I think Spirit Shojin's okay. I mean, needed to get buffed, right? But I mean, actually, it's not even as bad as not okay. I'm trying to think what champions really use Spirit Shojin. Actually, there's not really any champions that use Spirit Shojin, is there? There's only really Jax. Jax is kind of the only champion that builds Spirit Shojin. Maybe a C tier. I think Jax is probably the only one. I need to be more critical with this B tier. I need to be more critical. Aatrox, Jax or Jace. Jace doesn't build it. Jace just goes full lethality at the moment. Aatrox builds pretty much full lethality as well, to be fair. I would say. Now we get onto the ruined and the light items. Light Ghostblade, I don't need to say anything about this item. Just stay in S tier. I mean, even though they increased the price of this item, they made this item even stronger. It gets built on every single AD jungler that you can think of. Everyone builds Ghostblades. Just stay in S tier. I don't need to say much more about I don't need to say much more about Ghostblade, to be fair. Like, the item is just very, very powerful. Very strong first item. Ruin Blades of Ruin King, I think, is probably A tier. I don't think it's S tier where you want to build it on like every single, like, these are items that you want to build on like every single champion, right? It's like crit champions always want to go Bloodthirst and Mortal Reminder. Blade of Ruin King is kind of hit or miss, because I think reducing health kind of sucks. I think the layoff for reducing HP is not that great, because you get like what, 2% extra physical vamp and you get the 40% steal on movement speeds or something. Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think it's like great. I don't think it's like the best of the best. Yeah, I mean, probably some items need to move from B to C. Yes, I agree. I will do that afterwards. So am I cooking if I build Blade Rune King on Neela? Yeah, it's not great. You just want to build crit on Neela most of the time. But yeah, Rune Blade Rune King is pretty okay. Rune Infinity Edge again. I mean, man, I'd really want to put Rune Infinity Edge in S tier, but at the same time, do I want to put this item in S tier? Oh, it's either A or S for sure. Rune Infinity Edge is definitely either A or S. Yeah, I mean, the extra crit damage is quite a lot, to be fair. And also, the item is cheaper now. A lot of AD carriers now build Rune Infinity. Yeah, true. I think a lot of champions now build Rune Infinity Edge as well. For sure. I think Rune Infinity Edge is probably there. Yeah. Yeah, I would say Rune Infinity Edge. Honestly, before the Rune changes, Infinity Edge was like BC tier. Rune Infinity Edge was like not that great. I mean, I'm sorry, the the Infinity Edge before Ruin was not really that good. No one was building Infinity Edge. That might move down to A though. This might move down to A. I don't know. It's either A or S. I think the damage value you get now from, I mean, the games that I've played Ruin Infinity Edge, right? I built Ruin Infinity Edge as a second item. Your crit damage is disgusting with Ruin Infinity Edge now because it's 225% crit. So I'll leave it in S for now. I mean, Terminus. I mean, yeah, you can stick up there. I mean, there's not much more to say about Terminus. This item is just stupidly powerful. Terminus is just insanely powerful. Armor and MR to make you tanky. Percent armor pen and magic pen, which doesn't need to be built. I mean, you can build Terminus as a first item, even though it sounds weird, but Terminus is just disgusting. Like, this item is really, really good. You can honestly build this on crit AD carries and build a fourth crit item instead of going Mortal Reminder if you don't want to have the if you don't need the anti-heal from Mortal Reminder, you just build Terminus instead, and it's just insane. Like, this item is crazy good. The stats for the item are good as well. AD and attack speed. The components are incredible as well. Like, everything about this item is just disgusting. Terminus is 100% Terminus is S. Terminus is really good. Terminus Master Yi, Terminus KO as well. I mean, Terminus on every single on hit that you can think of. You can even build Terminus on crit AD carries. Just a really good item. Really good item. Yeah, really strong item. Well, for some reason, Titanic Hydra is in the physical damage section. I don't know why. Probably because it gives AD. Titanic Hydra is in the physical section, but I don't have it here because the item only gives maximum health. It's only the passive that gives AD, but I don't really think it's a physical damage item, to be honest. I think it's more of a tank item. Then we have... Oh, are they also Ruined Steris Gauge as well? So Ruined Steris Gauge and Titanic Hydra are two other items that are in the physical damage section, but I don't have them here. I mean, Blade Rune King Infinity Edge is still here, but these are the old items. I'm not going to rank Romana, because there's no point, because it's the upgrade. Okay, so that's physical damage. So what the hell are we doing with this B tier? What are we doing with this B tier? That is the question. Honestly, I think I'm okay with sticking all these items. I mean, Guardian Angel B tier is fine. Rune's Hurricane B tier is fine. I could probably choose between either Phantom Dancer or Magnetic Blaster, depending on what sort of attack speed item I want. Which I think they're both pretty good attack speed items. Like, it just depends on the situation of the game. If you need more range, you go for Blaster. If you want even more attack speed, you go for Phantom Dancer. So I think that's okay. Nash's Tooth I might move down. I might move Nash's Tooth down, actually. I think Runa's Hurricane gets built almost all the time instead of Nash's Tooth. I don't know. Warmal Mortius is fine. Wit's End is fine. Storm Razor here is fine. I mean, maybe one of the other crit items like Navori Quick Blades or Shield Bow. Honestly, B tier might be okay. Honestly, I think B tier might be okay. I don't think... So the thing is that I have to think of, right, is like, are any of these B tier... So think about this to yourself, chat, right? Are any of these B tier champions the same level or worse than any of these C tier items? C tier items, sorry. And I don't think they are. I don't think items like Navori Quick Blades is as bad as like Collector and Essence Reaver. Shield Bow is not as bad as Collector and Essence Reaver. Same with the other crit items as well, like Phantom Dancer, Blaster. I think this is okay. I think I'm pretty happy with this. No items in D tier is quite surprising, I guess, but yeah, I'm quite happy with this physical damage. Everything that you expected to be up here was up here. Yeah. Sure, like my comment on YouTube. Let's go. Let's go. I always read YouTube comments. You'll know, fun fact, actually, I've read every single YouTube comment. Every single YouTube comment that I get, I read it, I like it, or I comment on it. Wait, this doesn't show anything, right? I don't think this shows anything. Like, look, I have no comments here. I mean, these are only the comments from today, like 30 minutes ago. I read every single comment and I reply to every single comment and I read them all. There you go. Interesting take. Yeah, I think physical damage is done. We'll save that. Now we move on to why the hell are these items in magic damage? Why are these items in... Wait a second. If I remove this, does it remove it from here as well? Oh, no. What? Okay, that's a bit weird. It's fine. We'll deal with it anyway. I mean, does that mean some of these items are... Oh, I guess it just depends on what stats they have. I guess it's dependent on the stats. It's fine. We can still do magic damage anyway. This is physical damage, so this is fine, and we can move on to magic damage. I don't know why some of these items are here, but just pretend like they're not here. just pretend these items are not here. I don't know why they're here, but just pretend these items are not here. All right, magic damage. First item, Luden's Echo. Which no one's going to be surprised. Luden's Echo is going to go straight into S tier. Item's pretty good. You pretty much build this on every single AP mage. I mean, you sometimes even build it in the jungle. Stats are great. It's a great first item. It has a great passive that helps you with wave clear and also an extra bit of burst damage. Yeah. Luden's Echo, S tier. No surprise there. Gets built on every single champion, pretty much. Morellonomicon is more of a situational AP item, I would say. I don't think Morellonomicon is at the same state as like Mortal Reminder, for example. Mortal Reminder just gets built because it has crit and AD and all the stats in the world. Whereas Morello is like, if you need the anti-heal, it's good. But there are better alternatives in terms of AP items. There are better items that you can build that have AP damage. So I would probably say A. I think overall it's still good, but it's not the same level as like Mortal Reminder. So I would personally say A. Maybe it moves down to B. We'll have to wait and see. But personally, it moves up to B. It moves to it maybe moves down to B. I think it's A for now. I think it's still good. I think you can still build this most of the time, and I think it's still pretty good, but I don't think it's bad as B. I think there'll be some worse items in B, like AP items in B. Like Rylai's, for example. There is no way Morellonomicon has the same stance as Rylai's. I think Rylai's is definitely B. I mean, honestly, it could be C. Honestly, Rylai's could be C. Actually, I mean, thinking about it, I mean, it's core on Aurelion Soul. You need it on Aurelion Soul, but that's only because of his passive and the way his abilities and everything work. It's core on Morgana. I mean, it's not really that core. I mean, you can build on Morgana. It's okay. Zyra support sometimes builds it. Brand sometimes builds it. It might be C. Oh, Swain as well. Oh yeah, Swain is the other one. I think it's B. I think there are better AP items. But in terms of what the item gives, it's not that great. Oh, okay, so if this item had % magic pen, I think it would be B tier. The problem is that Rylai's doesn't have % magic pen. So if you build this item, you are dealing less damage to tanks and you're going to have less magic pen. Actually, I'm going to move it to C for now. I might move it up because I think it's like an okay item. But this item doesn't have % magic pen, which I think is a big downside to this item. I think it's okay. I just don't think it's great. Leandri's solid. I think the item's okay. I don't think there's like, it's good as a later game item because the damage scales depending on how much AP you have. It's a decent late game item, like a late game AP item. Yeah, it's solid. It's not great. It's not bad. I don't know. I think it's okay. B tier? Yeah, B tier. I would say B tier. I would personally say B. I think Leandris is okay. Oh, I thought Yasuo was getting another skin, yeah. I think Leandris is okay. I mean, again, this item might move down because I think there's just better AP items right now. Like, it's crazy actually thinking about it, but like Leandris is not even... I think Leandris is probably B, actually. I think Leandris is B. Rod of Ages, honestly, C. Honestly, like, the thing is, right, like, you either build Rod of Ages or Luden's Echo as a first item. There are no champions that build Rod of Ages. Like, I cannot think of a single champion that builds Rod of Ages. Honestly, it might be D tier. Holy shit, it might be D tier. It might be our first D tier item. There are no champions that want to build Rod of Ages. Kassadin doesn't even build it anymore. Like, every single player on Kassadin just rushes Archangel Staff, and then you just go into full AP. Swain doesn't even build it that much. Like, Swain doesn't even build it that much either. I think Swain champions are even just like skipping Rod of Ages completely now and building items like the Light Rift Maker, Frozen Heart, Rylai's. You know, they're getting mana from an alternative way. So honestly, like, Rod of Ages might be our first D tier item. Like, Aurelion Sol doesn't build it. I'm trying to think of like tankier items, tankier champions that would build Rod of Ages, but there is none. There is none. Like, honestly, I'm gonna leave it there for now. I honestly think this item is terrible. Even Singe, you don't really build it. Singe players just build Rylai straight away into like Leandris and going tank way. Like, they don't even build Rod of Ages. No one's built Rod of Ages in ages. Yeah, it's true. Oh, I see what you did there. Fuck's sake. I read that without thinking. Anyway, Lichbane, it's pretty decent. I think it's really good on AP assassins. I think in a general sense, as an item, God, it's a tough one. Lichbane is either A or B. Lichbane is either A or B. Okay, so this is why I don't know about Leandris, because if I put Lichbane here, I'm saying that Lichbane is of the same quality as Leandris, which I do not agree with. I think Lichbane is a lot better than Leandris. I guess it depends on the champion as well, but... So does Lichbane deserve to be an A tier? It's really good on Kassadin. I mean, it's really good on a lot of champions. You think of all the AP assassins, right? You think of Evelynn, Fizz, Echo, Gragas, Diana. Like, all these champions always build Lichbane. It might be A. It might be A. It might be A. Spectre, you have some weird takes, by the way. I'm not too sure if you're trolling every single time with what tier you're putting items, but yeah. Honestly, I think Lichbane might be A. I think Lichbane is pretty decent. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave A for now, and then we'll see with other items over time. Archangel Staff. Again, it's a situation where you build like Luden's Rod of Ages or Archangel Staff. It's one of them, like, as a first item. You need to build Archangel Staff as a first item. The problem is that Luden's Echo is in the game, so you're always going to build Luden's Echo as a first item, which then you don't want to build it as a second item. There are some champions that still build Archangel Staff first item, like Kassadin. I think, actually, Kassadin might be the only champion. Honestly, it's the same as Manamune, in my opinion. I think it's the same. I think it's the same as Manamune, in my opinion. I think Archangel has the same problem as Manamune. Only really gets built on Kassadin, and that's about it, to be fair. Oh, Nash's Tooth is back again. I mean, yeah, I'll keep it B for now. Honestly, Nash's Tooth might have to move down to C, because I'm looking at some of the other AP items that are going to be in B tier, and yeah. Yeah, I might have to move Nash's Tooth down. Yeah, we'll think about that. We'll think about that. We'll think about Nash's Tooth. It might move down to C though, honestly. Actually, I'm going to move it down now. I think it does deserve to move down to C. I think it still has the same situation as before with Runan's being better, and also it's just, yeah, it's okay on some champions. I mean, it's really good on Gwen, but Gwen is the only champion who really built on. Okay, now we're getting into like some support items. Ardent Sensor. I don't think it's A. I think it's like it's a solid B. I think Ardent Sensor is a solid B. Like it's good in some situations. Support enchanters still build the item. I don't think it's good, like A tier, that you're going to build it like every single game. I think it's solid. Like, I think it's good. I think it's solid. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's decent. It's decent. Abyssal Mask is not in the magic tier. I don't know why Abyssal Mask is here. I might need to get the website developers to kind of change around some of these items. But yeah, Ardent Sensor, B, it's solid. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just a solid B tier item. Awakened Soul Stealer. I think, again, B tier. Again, I think it's really, really good on AP Assassins. You can even sometimes build this on high burst mages as well and benefit a lot from Awakened Soul Stealer. So again, I think B tier. Again, I think Awakened Soul Stealer is... firstly, just so you know as well, we're going by the order in game, not... we're going by this order in the game. We're not going by A to Z on the website. We're going by order of in-game, like from top to bottom. Yeah, Awakened Soul Stealer, decent, pretty good. I think it's okay. Yeah, it's decent. No, don't worry, Firstly. Don't apologize. It's all good. I mean, you just tuned in, so you don't know. Staff of the Flowing Water. Again, solid B tier. Like, it's a good support item. It's solid. It's not great. It's not A tier. It's solid. It's okay. It gives you cool stats. It has a cool passive. Great. I think that's... Yeah, I think that's fine. Staff of the Flowing Water, I think, is definitely B tier. Crystalline Reflector. Let me quickly grab this item and let me put this in D tier. This item is just terrible. No one ever builds this item. God, this item is terrible. Why is this item still in the game, by the way? They tried to remake this item. They tried to change this item, and it is awful. It is still... They tried to make an AD defensive magic item, and it just sucks. Like, no one ever builds this item. It's terrible. That's the easiest tier I think I could have done from the day. Actually, no, the easiest tier would probably be Ixtali Sea Jar, to be fair. But yeah, Crystalline Reflector, D tier. I don't think no surprise there. Crown of the Shattered Queen, solid A tier item. I don't think it's S anymore. I think pre-nerfs... So Crown of Shattered Queen's been nerfed, what, 2 or 3 times now? I think pre-nerfs it's definitely S tier. I think after nerfs it's now A tier. I think it's solid, but I think that you can skip this item for other AP items now. Yeah, I think it's a solid A tier item. Also, I probably shouldn't put this here. I need to make sure I put this in order. Yeah, I think it's a solid item. I think it's okay. I think it's pretty solid. Also, I should put this down here as well. Why is this not? Yeah, no surprise there. Yeah, I don't think it's still S. I don't think it's still S. I think it's A. I think it's still A. I don't think it's... Yeah, I think it's still A. I don't think it's S. I don't think it's... I mean, it's not better than Ludens. Ludens is a lot better than Crown, in my opinion. Not a lot, but it's better. Imperial Mandate. Yeah, Imperial Mandate's okay. I mean, I think Imperial Mandate is just another B tier item. Like, all these support items are good, right? Like, they're not amazing. They're not like A tier. They're not good or amazing. They're like solid. Like, they're pretty okay. I think they're good. And yeah. Imperial Mandate, B tier. It works really good on some champions. Yeah, you just build it as a support. It's okay. I don't think it's like C tier. It's not as bad as other AP items. I think that's solid to put it there. Cosmic Drive. Honestly, Cosmic Drive might be C tier. I know someone mentioned earlier, I can't remember who it was, but someone mentioned earlier, Cosmic Drive can still be built on Vladimir. Honestly, I don't even think Vladimir builds Cosmic Drive anymore. I think there's a situation where he doesn't even build. I mean, what do I have on the thing again? I can't remember what I have for him. I don't think he builds Cosmic Drive. Or, I mean, I have it, but I think there's a situation where you don't even need to build Cosmic Drive, and a lot of players now are just going Infinity Orb. Oh no, sorry, they're going Riftmaker into Infinity Orb, Death Cap, and then they go Crown plus like Trident or Morellonomicon, and they just skip Cosmic Drive completely because you get such a better spike and a quicker spike from like Light Riftmaker, Ruin Death Cap, and Infinity Orb. So yeah, I mean, even though I have Cosmic Drive, I probably need to update my website a bit because the patch has been out now for over a week. Yeah, I don't think Cosmic Drive is that good. I think it's just a very unique item. I mean, like Lilia as well, for example. It's like a very unique item that movement speed is not really that beneficial on most champions. Especially for the champions that want to build Cosmic Drive anyway. So that's fine. Trident, solid B tier, I would say. It's kind of the same as Serpent's Fang, right? Where it's like an AP alternative for an anti-shield item. I would say Trident, solid B tier. Item's pretty good. I think the stats of Trident and how cheap it is actually really good as well. I see a lot of people building Trident, even if they're not against shielding, because it's a really cheap item and gives you a lot of ability power. But just in a general sense, B tier. Now we get into the OP items. Horizon okay, so God, Horizon Focus is going to be a hard one to tier, I think. I'm thinking S tier for Horizon Focus. Honestly, I think all of these light items are S tier. I'm probably thinking S tier for Horizon Focus. I mean, it's so good for mages. Like, it's so good for mages. Yes, they nerfed the damage in a hotfix nerf, but I still think that the damage is still there, and I still think the item is incredibly powerful. And I still think the stats are really good, like the item's really good. Yeah, I would say this item is still S tier in my opinion. Even though they nerfed the damage, I still think it's great. I mean, yeah, Gwen doesn't even use Cosmic Drive. That's also another thing as well, right? But yeah, Light Horizon Focus, S tier, pretty good. Light Infinity Orb, honestly, I mean, people are going to go crazy about this because the item is now the same cost as Death Cap, and also they just like increase the they increase the value of this item. But yeah, I mean, 45%, like, you guaranteeing a crit with your abilities below 45% health is so broken. Honestly, they can make this item probably 200 more gold and it will still be built. Like, that's how strong this item is. Like, I do not know what they were thinking behind the scenes making this item 45% guaranteed crit on your abilities. Does Horizon Focus reveal invisible enemies? I believe it does. Yes, I believe it reveals like Evelyn, etc. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. Yeah, I mean, the price got increased, but it's still very, very powerful. So I don't think no surprise here that Light Infinity Orb is going to be S tier. Ruin Death Cap, also S tier. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about these Ruin, and like all these new AP items that they added are just so disgustingly strong. Like Ruin Death Cap, 55% increase in ability power. 55%. Over half of your ability power is being added onto your already existing ability power. Like, who cares about 100 less HP when you can get so much extra ability power from Death Cap? Like, this item, again, really, really strong. I mean, no surprise again that it's in S tier. Harmonic Echo is probably A, I would say. Where the hell is Harmonic Echo? I would say Harmonic Echo is A. There are probably some scenarios where you could skip Harmonic Echo on some supports. I don't think, I mean, if this was pre-light Harmonic Echo, I would put this in S tier straight away. But now the item costs more. You only got like a 5 base healing increase, and then your healing gets increased based on how much ability haste you have. I don't think that's worth the extra money that you're paying for Harmonic Echo. I mean, it probably is still S tier. I think for now I'll put it in A tier. I think there is a situation where you can skip Harmonic Echo and just go like Mandate Staff Ardent. Actually, is there? Thinking about it now, is there? Actually, probably not. You probably still build Harmonic Echo on every single Enchanter support. Because there's no way you just build these 3. No, it's probably still S. I mean, the item is still probably S. Actually, thinking about it now, it's probably still S. You probably just build it still on every single Enchanter support. Even like Lulu and yeah, everyone else. Riftmaker, again, like they made this item so broken now. I don't know what they were thinking. Yeah, again, this item is just so broken. It's disgusting. You can build this on so many like assassins and even like Jackson Volley Bear and shit. You can just build this item. Vladimir, this item is so disgusting as well. Yeah, it's there. And then also Rowan's Hurricane is in the Magic, which is already in B tier. Wait, where is Runans? Like, Runans is not here, but Nash's Tooth is here? Okay, there needs to be some changes. Because this is weird. I don't know why, like, Navori Quick Blades is in... Oh, it's probably because it gives ability haste, right? That's probably why. That is probably why. Anyway, so that's magic damage done. Again, kind of no surprise. All of the new light and ruin items are just crazy broken. There are some other good A tier items that you can also build, like Morello, Lichbane, Crown of Shattered Queen. Honestly, Trident might move up to A. Honestly, I think Trident might move up to A. Because I think I'd rather build Trident over Leandries. And also Soul Stealer. Maybe Trident moves up. I'll keep it as is for now. I'll make some changes maybe later on. I think we'll keep it as is now. Yeah, Crystal Reflector and Rod of Ages are just awful. These items are not that great either. Cool. Magic items done. Now on to defensive items. Again, I don't know why some of these are in defensive items, but it's fine. It's okay. We can deal with it. We could deal with it. Guardian Angel I already mentioned. B tier. It's decent. You can use it for the Resurrect passive, but the stats itself are not great, but it's okay. Death Stance I've already gone over as well. A tier. It's a pretty much always built item on every single bruiser because of the AD and the armor pen. And AD and the armor pen, the AD and the armor that it gives. It's just built on every single bruiser if you're against an AD matchup. Even if you're not, it still has a great passive and it's still really good overall. Sunfire Aegis is probably just a solid B tier, I would say. This item doesn't really get built that much, to be honest with you. I think it's like still okay. I still think it can help a bit with like clearing through jungle and clearing through, I mean, trying to push lanes. I mean, tanks can still build this item as well. I think it's okay. I think Sunfire Aegis is a solid B tier. It might even move down to C tier, to be honest. It might move down to C tier. Because if you think about tanks, like, well, the tanks that we have in the game, they all just build Heartsteel Titanic. Actually, to be honest, Mundo doesn't build Sunfire. Sion doesn't build Sunfire. What are the other tanks that we have? I don't think off the top of my head. Sometimes it's hard to think off the top of your head. If you think of the tanks we have, right? Malphite, Nasus. I mean, I guess he classes as a tank. Mundo. Ornn. Set, I guess, as well. Sion. I mean, Urgot's kind of tanky now. And Volibear. I don't think any of these champions build Sunfire. I mean, yeah, you could probably build it on Malphite. It's probably okay. No Sunfire. 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 Like, there is not a lot of champions that build Sunfire. So it might be C. Oh, Shen. I didn't do Shen. Wait, did I not do Shen? Oh, Shen. I mean, Shen doesn't really build it either. I think it's just because of how strong Heartsteel and Titanic Hydra are. I think these two items are just really, really powerful. So, yeah. It might be C. Low-key, it might be C. It might move down to C. I mean, we'll see how the other items go, and we'll see how it all goes. I think Sunfire Aegis might be C. Spirit Visage, I think, is really, really good. I think the extra healing and shielding you get is pretty decent. I think the stats are also pretty good. Pretty much built on most tanks, I would say. You could build this on like Shen for the extra shielding, Mundo for the extra healing, even champions like Sion as well for the extra shielding. I think the item's solid. B tier. Solid B tier item. Runans might be another D tier item. You know what really sucks about Runans is that crit is always in the meta and always will be in the meta, but no one builds fucking Runans. Like, no one builds this item, even though it's supposed to be the crit defensive item. The problem is it doesn't reduce damage to crit anymore. You just gain these stupid stacks of whatever the bloody hell you call them. I don't even know what they're called. Determination stacks, which do nothing. These determination stacks that you get are terrible. D tier. I mean, honestly, I think it's D tier. I think this item is never built and never will be built. There's so many better AD armor items as an alternative. Not AD, sorry. Health armor items as an alternative. Thornmail pretty much gets built on every single tank. Solid A tier, I would say. It's pretty much the only way that tanks can get anti-heal as well, or any sort of grievous wounds or anything like that. Oh, Randwins. Did I say Runans? I'm pretty sure I said Randwins, didn't I? Oh, whoops. Did I say Oh, sorry. I meant Randwins. I meant this item. Randwins, not Runans. Whoops. Sorry. My bad. They both sound similar, right? Randwins. Randwins. That's what I meant, not Runans. I mean, you know what item I'm talking about because you can see the item here. Thornmail. Yeah, as I mentioned, the only way that tanks can really get any sort of anti-heal grievous wounds. The stats are really good on this item. The components are pretty good as well. Yeah, I think it's a solid A tier item. Thornmail is. I think Thornmail is definitely a solid A tier item. Dead Man's Plate, probably B tier. Again, I think there are. I mean, it's better than Randwins, that's for sure. It's a better health armor item than Randwins. It's solid. You can use this. You can get the extra movement speed. I think it's okay. It's not bad. Yeah, it's solid B tier. Why does this sometimes happen? Solid B tier. I still use Randwins in enemy Vayne champions. What is the alternative for Randwins if it's that bad then? Honestly, any other armor item is a better alternative than Randwins. The thing is, right, is that Randwins used to have a passive which reduces your damage, or reduces the damage, sorry, of critical strikes to you. But they don't have that passive anymore. Like, that passive is not in the game. You just reduce attack speeds. That's it. You reduce attack speed. You don't even reduce the crit damage being taken to you. So honestly, any armor AD item is a much better alternative. I keep saying armor AD because of Death Stance. Armor health item, sorry, is a better alternative. My bad. I keep saying the wrong thing. But yeah, Death Stance. I mean, sorry, not Death Stance. Dead Man's Plate. You can see I'm getting these items mixed up. There's too many items in my head now. I need to. Okay, mental refresh. You are on defensive items now. Dead Man's Plate. Okay. Yeah, Dead Man's Plate. B tier. It's okay. It's pretty good. Yeah. Iceborne Gauntlet. I don't really know how to feel about Iceborne Gauntlet, because I think it's... Iceborne Gauntlet is an interesting one, because I think it's pretty good. I mean, you could use it on quite a few champions, right? If you want to, you can use it on Nasus, Malphite, Ornn, Rammus. You can even use it on some supports as well if you really want these slow. I would say solid B tier. I would say solid B tier. It's kind of like, it's kind of a sense of like, is it better than Dead Man's Plate, or is it worse than Dead Man's Plate? Or is Dead Man's Plate worse than Iceborne Gauntlet? And if so, Dead Man's Plate might have to be down to C, but I think having both of them in B is also okay. They removed that? Yeah, they moved the Randuin's thing, so it's not very good anymore. My favorite item, Death Man's Dance. Stop, please. Stop. You're trolling me. Abyssal Mask. Does anyone build this item anymore? It's awful. Abyssal Mask is awful. When do you ever build Abyssal Mask? When do you ever go into a game and be like, yes, it's time for an Abyssal Mask game? Never. Item's terrible. I mean, you need to take magic damage for the item to even be remotely good. And even then, even if you take magic damage, the item is still not good. It's awful. Never build this item. Abyssal Mask, terrible. Zeke's Convergence is actually really good. Like, in terms of a support item, it probably is one of the go-to support items to go right now. So I would happily put Zeke's Convergence in A tier. Probably the best rush, probably the best support item to go right now. The stats are really good since it has health now instead of magic resist. The pass is really good, gives you more damage to your team, and just overall, it's a very strong item. I think Zeke's definitely deserves to be in A tier. Protector's Vow, solid. It's actually, I mean, yeah, I think Protector's Vow is solid. I think it's okay. I think it's it might be C tier. Protector's Vow might be C tier. Thinking about it now, the only champion that really builds Protector's Vow is Braum. Sometimes Blitzcrank. Even Blitzcrank doesn't really build it anymore, does he? If you think about it. I mean, I think tank items in general, you are just building the same items over and over again, which we'll get into the other items very soon, which are, you know, really, really strong. But Protector's Vow is, yeah, it might be C tier, to be fair. I think it's C tier. I mean, it's good on Braum, but other than that, it's not very great. Fimbulwinter, just get out. I mean, where is the item? This has the old icon. Oh, I mean, it's this one, but it's Fimbulwinter is the upgraded version. But yeah, Winter's Approach has the old icon, but this is what it is. Honestly, yeah. There are so many bad tank items. Actually, thinking about it now, there are so many bad tank items. Like, so many awful tank items. Like, bad. I mean, Crystal Effect is basically an AP item. Okay, bad. Like, no wonder that every single tank or like tank support just builds the same thing over and over again. Even like same tank Baron laners, they just build the same thing over and over and over and over again. Like, it's, yeah, Winter's Approach, awful. Frozen Heart is decent. I think it's in a lot better spot than what it used to be in before. I think it can get built if you're against a lot of melee champions. I think it's very, very good. Also, the mana's pretty helpful. You can also build this on champions like, you know, Swain as well to help you with the mana, but also champions like Blitzcrank, even like Braum as well if you really want to. Against really good against melee champions, really good if you're a champion that kind of wants to dive in as well, or if you're going to be surviving for a long time. Nice try, Spectre. Nice try. Yeah, Frozen Heart, solid B tier. It's a solid item. I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty good overall. Force of Nature as an AP defensive item, it's okay. Man, there are really a lot of bad defensive items, aren't there? There are really a lot of bad defensive items. I would say solid B. I was thinking of putting it in C, but I think it's actually okay as a B tier. I mean, you can get it for the extra movement speed, but I do think Spirit Visage is better. And if Spirit Visage is always going to be better than Force of Nature, actually no, I think it's still B, but it's worse than Spirit Visage. I still think you can build this if you want to. The extra movement speed. Yeah, nice try, Spectre. Good try. I applaud the efforts. But yeah, Force of Nature is like solid. Ixtali Sea Jar. That's about as much as what needs to be said about Ixtali Seejar. Yeah, remove it from the game or rework it or do something to Ixtali Seejar, please. I mean, no. Awful. Actually, think about it. I haven't tried Ixtali Seejar with the new plant. You know, the new plant that gives you like that weird Viego mist thing. I mean, even so, it's still terrible. Mantle of the 12th Hour, pretty decent. It's a lot better now that the item works off of giving you base health rather than healing, or giving you more health rather than healing. Because before, Mantle of the 12th Hour used to heal HP back up, which means if champions build any sort of anti-heal, the item would be worse. But now you're just getting extra health on top. It doesn't get affected. And I think it could be, I think it's pretty good as a defensive item. I think it's kind of nice. It's okay. It's solid. It's B tier. I think it's about as good as what it gets. Syrian Crown as well, also solid. I think it's a good damage item that you can buy on tanks. You can build this on like Ornn, Rammus, and it's good for dealing damage as tanks. Yeah, it's solid. It's okay. I mean, honestly, some of these tank items can probably move down into C tier as well. Like it is, man, there are some really, really bad tank items. Wow, there are some really, really bad tank items. But now we're getting into the OP ones. Oh God, here we go. Heartsteel. I don't think no one will be surprised. I will be putting Heartsteel all the way up here. Item is still good. It works really well on stacking HP. I mean, there are even some games, right, where I've always said that Heartsteel was not very good in the jungle because you don't really farm it that much on champions. But there are even champions that, or players that build Heartsteel in the jungle and still get a stupid amount of stacks and are still stupidly tanky. I mean, Baron lane, you can go like Heartsteel, like Urgot, Sets, any sort of tank that you want to go as well. Like Heartsteel is just crazy, crazy good. The extra HP you get makes you an actual tank, which is really, really nice. And honestly, that synergizes really well with Titanic Hydra. Again, a really, really strong tank item, a lot of HP. The good thing about Titanic Hydra as well is that you don't even need to build it with Heartsteel if you don't want to. It can be built as like a 4th or 5th item on bruisers, which means that you can get the extra AD later on. I mean, as an AD bruiser, you're still building health anyway. You know, Trinity Force, Divine Sunderer, Black Cleaver, Thornmail gives you health. All these sort of AD bruiser items that you can build just still give you health. So it's still really, really nice. Morning, Jack. Hello, hello. Morning, morning. But yeah, Heartsteel, Titanic Hydra, both really, really good tank items. I don't think there's any surprise that both these items are going to be sitting next tier. Then we move on to the new items. Ruined Twin Guards. I mean, the extra -1 to 5 or 1 to 10 attack damage is nothing compared to how insanely broken this item is now. You are 3 seconds in combat. You gain 35% armor, 35% magic armor, 35% magic resists, size, tenacity. Like, I mean, do I even need to like talk about the rest of these items? Honestly, like all these ruin items are just so completely disgusting. Maybe Ruin Warmogs is like A. Maybe Ruin Warmogs is A. I still think it's pretty good though. Ruin Warmogs. I don't know. Honestly, I think I can just do this. I can just end it like this. This, and also, what's the other one I'm forgetting? This. Actually, maybe Dawn Shroud is not. So this is an interesting one. Sterex Gauge definitely deserves to be S for sure. I mean, Ruined Sterex Gauge is really good. -5 movement speed. Who gives a damn? You can cleanse any sort of crowd control. When you proc the Lifeline passive, you still get the same stats. It's still really, really good. Maybe like, I think like Dawn Shroud is maybe the one that should go one lower. Because the item is now quite a lot more expensive. I still think it's pretty good if you want extra healing and if you have a lot of crowd control. The question is about Ruin Warmogs as well. I think that's the other one I got to think of is Ruin Warmogs. I think I'll keep it in S for now because I think it's still a really cheap item and it still works really well. You can get extra healing, which I think is quite nice. the bracket that you can actually proc the passive. So it went from 950 up to 1150, but I think that's okay. Yeah. I think that's pretty solid. I think that's a pretty solid defensive tier list. I think there are definitely some items in B tier that can probably move down. Like probably Force Nature, Dead Man's Plate could maybe move down. Because they're okay, but they're not like amazing, right? Like they're probably better. Like Spirit Visage is better. I would much rather build Frozen Heart over Dead Man's Play. I don't know. I still think some of the old builds are better, Shub. Yeah. Defensive tier list done. Now we're on to boots. Oh, this could be an interesting one. Boots tier list is kind of interesting. I mean, it doesn't matter what order I do this in because these are the only boots there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Honestly, I could go through this really quickly. I could go through this very, very quickly. Oh, holy shit, that was so easy. That was so easy. I mean, I don't think no one's going to be surprised that Gluttonous Grease and also Boots of Mana in S tier. I mean, Boots of Mana just is built on every single AP champion in the game. You get a mana regen, you get flat magic pen, and also ability power just makes these boots completely broken. Gluttonous Grease is still better than Berserker's Grease. It's still built on pretty much every single AD carry. The only situation where you'd build Berserker's Grease instead is if you build on hit. That's pretty much it, to be fair. These two defensive boots are really, really powerful. They're really, really good. I mean, their situation, obviously, if you're against a lot of AD damage, Plate Steel Camps. If you're against a lot of AP damage, Mercury Treads, they're still okay. Boots of Outburst are okay. I think they're decent. I think a lot of assassins would rather build Gluttonous Greaves instead, though. So yeah, Boots of Outburst goes down here. And then Boots of Lucidity, no one builds because who cares about the ability haste? You get 30 ability haste and that's it. Yeah, that's the easiest tier list of them all. I don't know if there's much else to say about these boots. There's not really much else to say about these boots. Honestly, I could do... No, I don't think Boots of Outburst deserves to be in the same tier as these two. You could even move Berserker's Greaves down one. The same as Outbursts. I still think you want to build Berserker's Greaves, to be fair, if you're playing on here. Did Merc Treads have resistance to crowd control? No, not anymore. It doesn't anymore. It used to. That was a long time ago, but they changed it. They changed it so Merc Treads doesn't give CC now. You only just get reduced magic damage. That's it. I mean, this is super easy. Yeah, not really much else to say here. So boots are done. Boots Enchants. Wow, this is actually going to be really, really interesting. Wow. This is going to be really interesting. Okay, with this tier list, let's kind of work from the top. Let's kind of work from the top with this tier list and see what we can think of. Stasis, I still think is S tier, even though this is the most expensive boots enchant. I think making yourself invulnerable is just way too good. You have to invest 1,000 gold, which is quite a lot, but I still think Stasis is just really, really good overall. Yeah, it's solid. I mean, it's the best booster. I think it's still the best boots enchant. Out of all of these, it's still the best boots enchant. I cannot think of any boots enchant here that is better than Stasis. And it's still the best. Which is really nice. Gargoyle A. I would say Gargoyle's A. I don't think it's S as well. I think Gargoyle's... I mean, it's a good alternative to Stasis. If you want to put it like that. If you want to put it like that, Gargoyle is a good alternative to Stasis, but I still think Stasis is better. I just think Stasis as an enchant is just so powerful. So I think Gargoyle A, it's solid. You know, the extra shielding you get is really, really powerful. It's really, really good. Yeah, it's solid. It's okay. Glorious. No one really builds Glorious, do they? Let's be honest. The only champion that really builds glorious is Blitzcrank and Hecarim. And even Hecarim, you probably go for like Gargoyle or Stasis instead or something like that. Yeah. Serpent's Fang denies Gargoyle. Yeah, there's also that, but I still think Gargoyle's pretty good. Even Gwen, I don't think you build glorious. I don't think Gwen you need glorious at all. I think the dash is more than enough for Gwen, and you don't need glorious for it. So yeah, glorious C tier. I mean, the movement speed is not really it's not really that great in my opinion. It's not that good. Yeah. Wow. I mean, boots and chants are actually kind of hard. Lockets. What do you think you can make that can make Ionian boots better? Just stats. Just beneficial stats. At the moment, it just gives ability haste, which is useless. It gives ability haste and HP, and then reduces your summon spell cooldown. That's it. Doesn't Olaf? Oh yeah, Olaf can also build glorious. Yeah, I mean Olaf can also build glorious, but again, I just don't think the boots enchant is that great. It's just a situational one. Locket, I would say Locket is A. I'd say Locket's pretty good, especially now because they've moved it back to a general shield rather than a magic shield. I'd say Locket's okay. I'd say Locket's a solid A tier. Yeah, just gives you a shield, gives you a team-wide shield. Obviously, building double Lockets is not that great, but I think at least one Locket on your team is still pretty decent. Magnetron? I don't know. I don't know about Magnetron. Is it C or is it D? I mean, they're trying to make Magnetron good, right? They're trying to make Magnetron good by like, you can now jump to your own minions, you can now jump to enemy minions and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, just no one ever uses it really, do they? No one ever really uses Magnetron. So yeah, I think it has to be D tier. I think it has to be D tier because I just don't think there are a lot of champions that can really make Magnetron work. It dashes and taunts. Yeah, it just dashes and taunts. That's about it, to be fair. Meteor, solid B. It can maybe move up into S as well. I mean, it does a bit of damage. It's okay. Like, it scales with your ability power. I think it scales with Magic Pen, unless they change that. When it first came out, it scaled with Magic Pen. It's a decent boots enchant. It's not the same level as Gargoyle and Locket, in my opinion, but it is better than Glorious enchant. So, I would say solid B tier. I would say it's really, really good. Man, I'm looking through these now. These are hard. These are really, really difficult. Protobell. Okay, the thing is with Protobell is I don't think you really need it that much anymore. I still think it's okay, but the reason why AD carries built Protobell before is because they didn't have any dashes. But now you have Hex Flash, which basically means that you can just dash every 20 seconds or you can flash every 20 seconds. I could put Protobell into A tier, but I think it's B tier. I still think it gets used pretty well on some champions like that need more dashes. Lee Sin and, you know, Evelyn, for example, can use it pretty well. Or any sort of assassin in general can use Protobell pretty well. Maybe it is A tier. But then I think about it and I think Quicksilver deserves to be A tier. God, these boots and chants are hard. Maybe Quicksilver is too situational. Like, Quicksilver was really good in the right scenarios, right? You're playing an AD carry, you're against Nautilus, Pantheon, I don't know, Diana, whatever. You're against any crowd control. Quicksilver is so good. Man, like it's so good. No, I think it has to be A. It has to be A. There's so much crowd control in the game that you're building this most of the time, in my opinion. And Protobell, not so much. Redemption. Not better than Locket. I prefer Locket over Redemption because Redemption has that delay. I think a solid B. I still think it can work pretty well. I don't think it's that bad. Actually, do I prefer Meteor over Redemption? I probably prefer Meteor. Actually, I probably I don't know. Do I prefer Meteor or Redemption? Yeah, Redemption's definitely fell off. Okay, but the problem is, right, is like Repulsor. I mean, the thing is, like, revitalizing Grail, right? I'll probably put this C. I'll probably do this. Which makes me feel like I should put Redemption up. Because there's no way Redemption... I mean, is Redemption the same... Is the same as, like, Revitalizing Grail and Glorious Enchant? Like, there's no way, right? There is no way. Killed IR and Yasuo for free. Oh, God. This is hard. This is actually one of the hardest ones. This is actually one of the hardest ones. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Repulsor doesn't work with Yasuo ulti. Otherwise, everyone would probably be using it. Also, it's still not even good anyway, because you still have to stand close enough to actually knock them up anyway. Which most of the time, you're going to knock them up anyway, so... These three are definitely D tier. 100%. These three are definitely D tier. Yeah, Repulsor is very good against Katarina and Samira. But that makes it more situational, and it makes it... Yeah, I don't know. It's good if you're against Katarina or that. Yes, I agree. Because you can stop Katarina ulti, you can stop Samira ulti. It's pretty good. The only question I have is like... Actually, no, to be fair, I think I'd rather build Veil or Locket on support rather than Redemption. And I'd rather build Meteor over Redemption. So I think this is... Yeah, I think this is fine. I think we're done. All right, let's see if this works properly. Let's see if it doesn't break. Oh, it doesn't break. It works. It doesn't break. It doesn't break. We did it. Boots enchant. Defensive items. Okay, the only thing is that it looks really weird because like there's like Ghost Blade in Magic. But that's only because it has ability haste, and I think the devs kind of struggle to try and put certain items in certain tiers. So it looks kind of weird. Okay, so if we look at all the items, right? S tier items, I don't think no one could be surprised about S tier items in general. Wow, this actually looks really, really good. All of these S tier items are like Boots of Mana, Gluttonous Grease, Stasis is up there. Pretty much all the Ruin and Light items are up there because they're all so busted right now. Solid. I think that's pretty good. A tier items look pretty good as well. Yeah. I mean, B tier is probably going to be the most stacked. No surprise. And then C tier and D tier. I'm pretty happy about that. I am pretty happy with how this has turned out. There might be a few switch ups. There might be a few runes or that here or there that I could swap around. There might be a few things that I might swap depending on what happens and everything. But I think overall I'm pretty happy with how this tier list has gone. Again, it's kind of sucks that like physical damage, you have like other items that shouldn't be in here. Like magic damage and that, but I think it's okay. Boots Enchant is a bit yeah, I'm not too sure, but yeah. Nice. Right, that is it. That is my item tier list done. Yeah, so instead of like going through the items, I think I'd much rather do like this sort of content where I'm doing it on stream and also recording as well at the same time. So then you can all see my opinions of the items as well as me doing the tier lists. 2 birds, 1 stone. We did it. Item tier list complete on the website. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. And yeah, see you next one.